Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a fall inspired makeup look. I really want to dig into some fall colors in my eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to be using two different eyeshadow palettes to kind of create a fun fall look. Where I live, it's still very much summer. It's very hot and so far showing no signs of even transitioning out of summer, but I'm just so in the mindset of fall and just ready for fall and ready for cooler weather, especially being pregnant. It's not fun being pregnant in the hot weather, so I'm definitely ready for cooler weather. So I really wanted to do a fun fall inspired makeup look. I was on Pinterest last night. I'm gonna post just a couple of the pictures that I saw. I don't know if I'm gonna recreate exactly the way that the eyeshadow looks on the two women in the pictures, but I'm gonna be doing kind of my own rendition of it using two different palettes from Colourpop. So I'm gonna be using the Yes Please and the You Had Me at Hello, which I have done an eyeshadow look with the You Had Me at Hello palette, so I don't know if I've ever done one with the Yes Please on my channel. I might, but I don't know if I have. So I'm gonna be using colors from both of these palettes. This one definitely is more fallish. This just has a really pretty red color that I wanna use, as well as some other brown shades. So we're just gonna be using those and we're just gonna get right into the video. So to prime my eyes, I'm just taking the Essence Camouflage Concealer, and this shade is 10 Light Rose. I'm also gonna clip up my hair real quick. I don't think I'll ever get over the smell of this. Literally smells like roses and I love it. So with this makeup look, I am going to be going for more of a full coverage makeup look. I'll be doing a pretty fall eyeshadow look, and then I'm going to be doing a matte brown lip. So to set my eyes, I'm going to be jumping into the Profusion Highlight and Contour 1 palette. These I believe are $5 at Walmart. I have a blush one too that I really like. But I'm going to be taking the Cream Light shade, and this I'm just going to be using to set my eyelids. Okay, so I am going to jump into the You Had Me at Hello palette. Now, both of these palettes my son has gotten into, so they're very messy. But I'm going to take the shade called Moonstruck, which is this like tan brown shade. I think it's a really good transition shade, so I'm just going to be taking a Morphe R37 brush and I'm just going to be buffing this into my crease. And then I'm going to be jumping into the Yes Please palette. I'm going to be taking the shade called Spoiled, which is this really pretty red color. I'm just going to be taking a little bit on that same brush, not a lot. And I'm just going to be buffing this in the crease as well, just because I just want a little bit of a red tone to this eyeshadow look. Nothing crazy, but just a tad bit of red. A lot of the eyeshadow looks that I found on Pinterest were like cranberry and plum eyeshadow looks for fall, and I thought it was just so pretty, so I definitely wanted to incorporate a little bit of a red to it. I don't really have like an actual like cranberry shade, so I just have to get a little creative and just add a tiny touch of red to the eyeshadow look. All right, so I'm just gonna be taking just a normal crease brush, and I'm going to be taking the shade DTR in the You Had Me at Hello palette. We are going to darken up the outer corners of the eye, but with this, I'm just going to be putting this like right in my crease, but not blending it up. I just want it right in my crease. I'm gonna take the Morphe M433 brush. I'm gonna go into the Yes Please palette. I'm gonna be taking the darkest brown shade called French Kiss right here. And I'm going to be focusing this on the outer part of my eye. So far I really like the eyeshadow look and how it's coming out. out. I'm going to be dipping back into that red shade just because it kind of did get lost with that dark brown. I'm just going to bring it a little bit back to life. Okay, jumping back into the You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm going to be taking the shade called 2Ps, which is a really pretty, almost like a champagne shimmery shade. I'm going to put this on the inner corner of my eye and have it meet that dark brown shade. I'm just going to be taking an e.l.f. blender brush and I'm just going to make sure that everything is blended together and there's no harsh lines and it just looks good. So I'm just going to be going into my Milani Soft and Sultry palette and doing a simple winged liner with some eyeshadow. So I did kind of a more dramatic eyeliner look. I still just, you know, not very good at eyeliner, but you know, I'll get there eventually. So I'm going to jump into mascara and I'm just going to put on several coats of my Tarte Maneater mascara real quick. This is my all-time favorite mascara. All right, we're going to move on to the face and prime. And I'm going to be using my Ciaté London Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer. I'm just putting this in my T-zone. And then whatever's left on my hands, I'm just blending it out to the rest of my face. So for foundation, I want more of a full coverage look. And what I feel is my most full coverage foundation is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. I actually really like this foundation. I used to not like this foundation, but it grew on me and I actually really like it. It's got a really nice big doe foot applicator. And normally I just put it on my face, but I am actually not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it on the back of my hand, dot it on my face, and blend it out with a brush. One thing that I don't like about this foundation is the smell of it. It has a really interesting smell and it's just not the best smell. But as far as coverage goes, I really like it. Obviously, because I do have acne prone skin and just textured skin in general, I always conceal. So I feel like no matter how good the foundation is, I always find myself concealing. And I'm just going to apply some more to the back of my hand. And I'm just going to apply the brush directly into it and just stipple it on the areas that just need some more coverage. I forgot to mention that the shade of this foundation is F1. I could probably get away with going a shade up because I feel like when I apply this to my skin, it just makes me look whiter than I actually am. So it's not my favorite shade. So I definitely want to get a darker shade for that foundation. But I really, really like that foundation. So to conceal any problem areas that I have, I'm going to be using my favorite concealer at the moment, which is the Covergirl Undercover Concealer. This is in the shade L400, which is what I like to use to cover up blemishes because it is more of my skin tone's color. Obviously, it's gonna look more of like a yellow tint on my face because of that foundation color. That foundation color is just a little too light for my taste. And the sad thing is it probably is my perfect match, but I feel like it just like amplifies how white I am. Okay, so for concealing under my eyes, I'm going to be mixing two concealers. One is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and the reason I'm mixing is because the e.l.f. concealer is way too light. I think I grabbed their lightest shade, and it's just like when I first applied this to my face, I mean, I don't know if you can even tell, but it's like, to me, it looks just like super, super white, and I don't like my under eye area to be like white. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this, and then I'm just going to mix in my Covergirl Undercover Concealer in L200. Okay, so for setting my under eye area, as you can see, I still look really white, and I feel like it's just because of that e.l.f. concealer plus the foundation color that it's just super white. So we are going to get this all set and then definitely be bronzing up the skin a lot. But I am just going to be going back into that contour palette by Profusion, taking that cream light shade, and I'm going to be setting my under eyes with this. I'm basically going to be setting kind of everywhere where I put the lighter concealer. Then I'm going to jump into my Maybelline Fit Me powder in translucent. Apply this gently over blemishes that I concealed with the darker concealer. And then I'm going to apply this with a bigger fluffy brush all over my face. All right, so now we are going to bronze up the face. I am going to be using a L'Oreal bronzer. I honestly couldn't tell you what bronzer this is because I lost the lid and the backing is like, the wording is like coming off. So all I know is that this is a medium shade. Okay, then I am going to be going back into that contour palette. I'm going to be taking the darkest shade in this palette called Tan Sculpt. I am not going to use it necessarily as to contour, but I am going to use it just to give a deeper look. So jumping into blush, I am actually going to be using a new blush to me. I grabbed this from Colourpop. It is from the Disney Designer Collection. This is the Kissin a Frog pressed powder blush. So this is based off of Tiana. They didn't have a lot to choose from when it came to the designer collection. A lot of it was already just sold out, but I was able to pick up this really pretty blush. It's a really pretty, like really mauvey pink blush that I'm so excited to try out. It does look like it has a shimmer to it, which I didn't know prior to buying it. And if you watched my July Ipsy video, the blush that I got in there had shimmer to it and I wasn't a fan. So we'll see how well I like this. This definitely does have some pigment to it. I need to blend it out really well so there's no like harsh brush line on it. But I'm just putting this, pouncing it, I guess you could say, on my cheek and just dragging it up. It's a really pretty color. It's very, very subtle. I feel like it blends in with the bronzer pretty well. I will say that you, when first applying this, don't apply a lot because with this side, I got a really bad, like you could tell where my brush had hit my face basically. Okay, so we've got blush on. I'm gonna do highlighter real quick, and I'm just gonna be using that same Profusion palette because it's got some highlighting shades in here. I'm going to jump into the shade Impulse, which is more of like a tan champagne skin tone color highlight, however you want to describe it. Okay, so I've never used these highlighters before. I've just used the contour or like the bronzing shade, and I will say that it doesn't show up as much as I would like it to, like as much as I love highlighters to show up on my skin. I will say that it's not terrible, like I don't hate it. It's just not as pigmented. Okay, so our face is basically done. I'm gonna hurry and do my brows off camera, come back on. I am gonna be doing a little bit of eyeshadow on my lower lash line. Then we'll set the face, we'll put on lipstick, and then we'll be done. Okay, now that my brows are done, I'm going to be jumping back into the eyeshadow palettes just to do a little bit on my lower lash line, and then we'll set the face. All right, so that is the finished eyeshadow look. We're gonna set the face with my Morphe setting spray. This is my favorite, and I don't know if I wanna try anything else. So for the lipstick, I am going to be using the Milani Amour Matte Lip Cream in Stunning. It's a really pretty brown shade. It wasn't my favorite when I first used this because it was a lot browner than I thought it was. And usually like a dark brown lip is not my favorite on me. But this is kind of my only fall lipstick that I have. So. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look, my attempt at a fall inspired look. I think it actually turned out really pretty. Some of these like eyeshadow shades are not something that I would typically use. I'm trying to be more bolder with my eyeshadow and kind of testing my creativity and testing just different colors, and I actually really liked how this turned out. I definitely think this would be kind of like my go-to fall look for like a date night or something. Like always, I will leave everything that I used down below in the description box. I'll have my Instagram down there. I actually did create a separate Instagram account for my personal page just because I want to keep my personal life personal and YouTube. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any video recommendations you have. I actually am going to be doing another hairstyle video soon of how to get these natural looking waves. So stay tuned for that and stay tuned for a lot more videos coming. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Bye. Say bye. 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 Can you blow a kiss? Mwah. Mwah. Good job.